Today we're doing a complete Zenless Zone Zero guide for Genshin players. This is going to help you understand everything you need to know about the game before playing, so you can have a smooth and fun start, but without me spoiling the whole game for you and letting you enjoy it for yourself as well. Welcome to Jello Impact, where we build and test every single character to help you decide who you want to wish for and build. And introducing Jello Zone Zero, where we cover all your favorite topics that you know and love from Jello Impact, all about Zenless Zone Zero. I'll link my second channel down below. In Zenless Zone Zero, you start the game as a proxy. You choose one of the two main characters, and your job is to recruit agents that you can guide and fight alongside in the Hollows. You can think of this in Genshin terms as the traveler recruiting other vision wielders to combat and fight in dangerous domains. The Hollows look like this, and you go inside of them and fight all sorts of cool ethereal monsters, and you guide and manage the different agents that you recruit along the way. Instead of 4 stars and 5 stars, the agents are S rank and A rank. For combat, the way the combat flows is pretty similar to Genshin if you can understand a couple key differences. Number one, of course, there's extra dodges and parries, and you can learn about how those work in my Ultimate Combat Guide that is on my main channel. But just so you get the idea, the core of the game is going to be dodging and parrying the enemy's attacks, applying what you can think of as a lot of elemental application onto each enemy's shield. Every enemy has a shield. Once you break their shield, you're able to unleash a lot of damage onto the enemy through various different mechanics. You have certain agents that are especially good at breaking these shields, such as Anby or Lycan, and then you're going to use other units that are essentially buffers or debuffers, such as Nicole or Lucy, and then you'll use characters like Billy or Ellen to DPS down the enemy when its shields are down. That's the essential combat flow. But there's also characters that don't quite fit this mold. Defensive characters like Ben, who kind of play like Beto, who counter all the time. Or characters like Grace, who play similar to someone like Nilou or Nahida, or kind of Dendro elemental mastery type teams. It's also really fun to team build, as each character has, instead of having an elemental reaction system, there are still elements and they all still have an elemental effect, and there's also disorder. When you apply 2 different elements, there's an additional effect, but the main synergies and the way that you'll build your teams is through the core passive. Every character has a special broken ability that's really strong and is only activated under a certain condition that can be fulfilled by another team member, such as having another ice agent on the team or having another agent of the same faction. So Ellen is part of the maid group, the Victoria Housekeeping. When she has Lycan, he's also from Victoria Housekeeping, also part of the maid group, so they share the same faction, so they activate each other's passive. But Corrin could also activate the passive because she also is from the same group, and through mixing and matching your characters, you can activate their passives, and that sort of serves as your team building incentive, which makes it really fun and activates that kind of puzzle solving mentality that I really like in Genshin, of building a nice synergistic team. And of course, there's other ways to make synergistic teams as well. And as we learn more and more about the game, the more fleshed out it gets. I think team building is going to be a very fun and very interesting aspect for Zenless Zone Zero going forward. A lot of abilities will be very similar to you, with basic attacks, special attack, which is kind of like an elemental skill, EX special attack, which is kind of like an ultimate, an actual ultimate, which is built up through a secondary mechanic by attacking and dodging and doing different things, passives, and there's also new abilities like dash attacks, perfect counters, that add more depth and variety to combat and make it really, really visceral and feel really, really good. I love Genshin's combat, but Zenless Zone Zero sort of takes it to another level in terms of the visceral action-y feel, so I really, really like it. Next, I wanted to do a few comparisons. Who is every character in Zenless Zone Zero kind of like in Genshin? Grace. I'm gonna go with Nilou. Elemental mastery based kind of character, except she's much more universal and much more versatile and not as powerful. So that's what I'm gonna go with for now. Ellen, I would say, is most like Ganyu. Yes, with the splash art, but also the fact that she's a powerful ice DPS that will most likely get power crept in the future. But she's really, really fun to play. I don't regret getting her at all. Corrin is like Noelle. She's very tanky. You get her for free, and she'll definitely carry you through the early game. I'm not sure Billy is really like anyone. I guess he's like Amber, if Amber was actually like fun to play, at least. Even if she's not that good, at least she's fun to play. Like Kun, I don't have a very good comparison for stun agents. Like, you don't need a shield breaking agent in Genshin, like in particular. So it's doesn't really have a comparison. Ben definitely feels like Beto with his counter and defensive shield. Anton, he's kind of like a 4-star electro DPS, but he does have some cool synergy. He's kind of like a Kave, especially if I'm saying that Grace is like Nilou. He's kind of like Kave, except not absolute trash for sure. Nicole has grouping and is a debuffer, so she's definitely like Sucrose. Lucy gives massive attack boost and some off-field fire damage, so she's definitely Bennett. Zokaku also gives a massive attack boost. She is Ice Bennett. Nekomata, very solid physical DPS. Her and Soldier 11 kind of feel like Diluc. Koleida, again, being a stun agent, I don't know who she's like. Same with Anby. It's just a role that's not really existing in Genshin. Rina is like probably an overtuned Jean. That's what she kind of feels like. More inherent buffing than just VV. Piper kind of also got that Noelle spin to win kind of aspect. All you ZZZ players, let me know down below which Genshin character you think are the same. And partially because I teased it in the thumbnail, and partially just because it fits so well, Miyabi is absolutely Ayaka, because she was also a character that was in the beta. She's an ice DPS. She wields a katana with Japanese aesthetic. She probably won't, she's not released, at least not announced yet, just like Ayaka wasn't. And she'll probably power creep the broken ice DPS that we have right now. So that's definitely Ayaka. I want to give you a quick lowdown of everything on the menu screen. We've got events, which is obviously just like events in Genshin. Very, very normal. We've got your internaut level, which is the same as your adventure rank. I'm level 36. You've got your battery charge. This is just like resin in Genshin. Your ether battery is just like your fragile resin. Denny's is just like Mora. Polychromes are just like Primogems. Monochromes are just like Genesis crystals. Your options screen is just like the settings screen. You've got DMs. If you play Honkai Star Rail, it's like your phone there. Your compendium is like your adventure manual, where you've got your daily commissions. You've got your adventurer's handbook. And you've got the place where it takes you to different domains. The weekly bosses shortcut. The Hollow Zero, it's kind of like the simulated universe in Honkai Star Rail. Shiyu Defense is like the Abyss in Genshin. You've got your achievements list, just like in Genshin. You've got your internaut level. This is my quest list. It's mostly the same as Genshin. I've obviously completed almost all my quests at this point. You've got your storage, which is like your bags. The W engine or Wenjin, these are your weapons. Your disk drives, your artifacts. These are the agent upgrade materials. So these are my talent upgrades. These are my ascension materials. These are my weapon upgrade materials. These are my boss drops. And this is my other stuff in my inventory. You've got the agents instead of characters. This is the battle pass. Works just the same. You've got your daily, weekly, and monthly tasks. You've got your 5-star weapon or 4-star weapons from the battle pass. And finally, we've got the wishing screen. The pity is exactly the same. It's slightly different because you're only guaranteed an A rank or higher every 10 instead of an A rank every 10. Sometimes you'll get an S rank, but by and large, it's pretty much the same. You've only got 2 4-star agents instead of 3 on the banner, and that's because teams are made up of 3 instead of 4. It's 3 plus a bang boo. We'll talk about that in a minute. The weapon banner is a 75-25 instead of a 37% chance, so it's much better in that way. And its pity is the same as in Genshin. You've also got a pity tracker in the corner, which is very handy for keeping track of what pity you're at. You've also got your standard banner, and you've also got a standard banner selector where you can select your favorite character to get after 300 summons. It's gonna take a while to get there, but still, Genshin could never. The wishing screen looks very, very cool with the with the TVs and a nice cool wishing animation. And when it turns over, you can see what you get. I've got a full summons video. You can see my great start to my account if you click over that, if you check out the channel down below. And then you've also got a bang boo banner. These are companions that you summon in battle. You can kind of think of them as a second weapon or as a 4th character. They're kind of more like a weapon, I would say, but they're, because you don't really control them, but they do change up team building a little bit and give you some powerful additional effects. It seems like Butler is the best one right now, but don't worry about this being a whole other aspect to worry about in terms of pull economy. You get your own special pull currency just for the Bang Boo banner, and except for the fact that you get 5 or so from the battle pass, this is an entirely free-to-play friendly system. So all of the Bang Boo currency is gained through playing and through events, except for, again, just a few from the battle pass. So you'll be able to get the majority of the Bang Boos, hopefully, just by playing for free, because there's no way to really pay for a bunch. Next, we've got the shop. The shop has your usual Genesis Crystal purchase page. The Signal shop, kind of like Honkai Star Rail, you can purchase the standard banner 5-star weapons. So that's really, really cool. You can also purchase 4-star characters, and of course, you can exchange for more pulls. The residual signal, it's kind of like your star glitter. The fading signal is your star dust. You've obviously got the monthly sale on these. This I've already purchased. You've also got bang bucks, which you can use to purchase more bamboo currency. Oh, it's unlimited. Maybe I shouldn't get all of those. You've got your welcome moon, which is called the internet membership. And you've also got some new stuff, the Eridu welcome gift and the bundle shops. It's technically slightly worse than the monochrome market when you have the top-up bonus available, and then it's slightly better than the monochrome market when you don't have the top-up bonus available. Either way, still the whole thing is just too expensive. I recommend, if you're going to spend, stick to the monthly pass, the Welkin Moon, and stick to the battle pass. Don't ever go beyond that. Beyond that, I don't believe is worth it personally. Of course, I have to do it for content because I'm going to be building and testing every single character, but if I was just playing the game for fun, I would stick to the Welkin, maybe Welkin plus battle pass, and that's in the game. You're a character and you run this shop, but you're also an undercover agent in the back room, going into those hollows and assisting the agents doing missions. You can also do story quests and see characters like Rena out in the overworld, and you can invite them on missions and increase your friendship and get cool wallpapers for them, which I haven't unlocked just yet, but I am working on it. Overall, do I like this game as much as Genshin? Personally, not yet. It is just launch day, but I do like it enough that I'm going to be playing it and covering every single character, so that's a pretty ringing endorsement. I like this game a lot. I definitely recommend you give it a download and check it out. The link to the game is down below. The link to my channel is down below. My most recent video is my Zenless Zone Zero full review, where I go over all the different aspects about it, spoiler free, and you can check that out to see my full review if you want just a little bit more information before you decide to jump in. But I hope to see you there. Take care. Bye for now.